Here's a quick question for you. It's 2023. Sports science is more accessible than ever due to the abundance of information that the internet has created. So why is your training A, outdated, or B, not in line with the needs of football? Do you want to know why? Because most players are on their phones getting hypnotized by those football fitness gurus in their videos. Because you're looking for the easy solutions. You avoid doing the research and therefore end up with a mediocre training program that will produce little to no results. The rest is known. You'll start blaming politics, your country's football system, and anything else other than yourself and your training and career decisions. So do you want to stay there, continue making the same mistakes over and over again, and just hope for something better? Or do you want to actually transform your game by taking control of your development? If you belong to the latter group, then keep watching until the end. So guys, the first mistake that most players and even coaches are doing is that they train like bodybuilders. I get it. Those players are not necessarily the ones to blame for. At the end of the day, they're usually the ones that visited the gym and got a workout program handed out to them by the gym owner, or just looked around and did the things that everyone else was doing in that commercial gym. But why isn't bodybuilding a proper allocation of your time and energy as a footballer? That's for mainly two reasons. As you might already know, bodybuilding primarily relies on hypertrophy training, and hypertrophy training is characterized by high training volumes and moderate to low training intensity. That high training volume is the reason you might want to shy away from hypertrophy training, as it can get you DOMs that might mess up with your game day performance. There's definitely a place and time for it for some players though, but I generally like to keep our players away from it during the season and only microdose it in small bits and pieces with any training block whenever that's needed. The other reason I'm not a big fan of bodybuilding focused work is that it is primarily aesthetic rather than performance focused. If I can't make my players faster, stronger, more powerful, and more resilient to injuries, I am not doing my job properly. Aesthetics do play a role in performance, i.e. how much body fat and lean muscle mass you carry around, but when it comes to footballers, I like to prioritize performance over aesthetics and let other performance specialists like nutritionists take over the rest. At the end of the day, a byproduct of performance-based training combined with proper lifestyle and nutrition choices will eventually lead to that sweet spot of body fat and lean muscle mass. So yeah, hypertrophy training isn't necessary to build an athletic physique. Now another mistake I see players making is ditching the gym because they're afraid of it and just sticking with bodyweight workouts and postnatal mom exercise routines. Look, I don't know where you heard this from, but the gym is one of the absolute best performance supplements that exists out there. The benefits you have for your performance if utilized properly are immense. So yeah, just doing a bodyweight circuit you saw on TikTok or completely ditching any form of resistance training is only cutting yourself short. I get it. It is an easy solution because it doesn't require any research or monetary investment, and it is a fundamental one as well if you're just starting out. But if you really want to see and feel how effective the gym can be for you, you just need to add extra resistance to the movements you're training in order to improve your force production, which generally is the lowest hanging fruit for most. If you're a beginner though, it does make sense to start off with the lowest resistance possible, aka your body weight. Take control of how it moves, build foundational strength, and progressively get yourself inside the gym. You will not regret it. But if you do end up making that decision, forget about those 3x15 box jumps and deep squats you're probably doing and start doing more of the things we're about to share. But before we move into the solutions though, I want to also talk about another really serious training mistake, and that is load management. Now alongside the lazy players and the ones that don't really care about their development, there are those passionate players that are really hardworking and do everything they can to improve. Those players are usually the ones that end up doing too much and either A, target hypertrophy and endurance, or B, get injured. That is why you have to make sure your training aligns with the season you're in as well as your training goals. So without further ado, let's jump right into your action plan. So the first thing you would need to do is become aware of the needs of the season you're in. Obviously, your in-season training will look very different compared to your off-season workouts, aka less individual training volume overall. On top of that, how much you stress each physical quality will also change, since the exposure you get to certain things is considerably higher in season so it does make sense to do less of some things like change of direction exercises and do more of the things you don't get exposure to as much, like top velocity sprinting or loaded power lifts. The next thing you would want to consider is your individual strengths and weaknesses. Are you a force dominant or a speed dominant player? Or are you lying somewhere in the middle? This will help you use your training compass much more effectively throughout the whole year and put the focus on the things that need to be targeted. Not just core crushers, burpees, or bodyweight squats. Do you need more plyos, more speed work, better power and rate of force development, maybe maximum strength? Distinguish that for yourself and lay out a path that is tailored to your needs. For most players, hypertrophy training will probably not play a big part in the training process. Start playing around with other training stimuli like plyometrics, ballistics, velocity focused, or heavy lifts, and actual sprinting, cutting, and turning variations to really improve your athletic performance and benefit your game and health. Bodybuilders, wellness, and football specific work are different. Each serves a different purpose. You're a footballer, so if you want to become an elite footballer, you'll need to work like one. Use the proper tools, combine them with the principles, and take your game to the next level. And of course, if you would like some help and leave the guesswork to the side, check out the links in the description and let's find the most appropriate development solution for you. This was it for today guys, but do not leave here. If you found this video helpful, I'm sure you would also benefit greatly from this one right up here, so I'll see you over there.